Grave Reviews, this is Chris.
Have you trapped the children?
There's no children here. It's not safe for them.
This is Alan, and Chris is right. Grave Reviews is intended for mature audiences. Your discretion is advised. Grave Reviews presents Thursday Night Frights.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. All right, there's no gentlemen in this room. Hi, ladies.
Hi, ladies. And you
No.
heathens out there.
Heathens, that's absolutely. All right, so this week we're doing something fun. If someone comes into the chat room tonight that has not been here, be sure to point them out to us. We are doing a drawing at the end of the night, and I want to be sure that everyone is involved. So, that being said, Chris, how the heck are ya?
We're back. New Year. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too, and Happy New Year to our Talking Dead. We
Yes.
absolutely love you guys. Big hugs from us to you. And as we like to say, 2024, may your nightmares be groovy, right?
Indeed.
So,
Indeed.
absolutely. This is going to be a fun show. We're
Yeah.
really going to just be talking about what we saw in 2024 that came out in 2024.
Right. Disclaimer,
we
there
liked.
was a lot of movies that came
Yes.
out in 2024. We couldn't possibly cover all of them on 3 shows.
No.
So we grabbed some that we saw, and we're going to go with those.
And not only that, but it was a great year for horror. If you're a horror fan, man, these movies were incredible this year.
Yeah, all across the genre, the subgenres, they all had some greats out there. Some good body horror, obviously the Terrifier 3 coming out. It's a great family Christmas movie. No,
No,
it's not.
no,
It's
no,
not.
it's not.
It's hilarious when people trick their family into it being a family Christmas movie and get them into the theater. Those reaction videos are funny.
Oh, I would be willing to kill, I think. Yeah, not a plan. Not a
No.
plan at all.
It's not how you keep friends.
No. Well, we would.
Well, yeah, depending on the friend. If there's any question that do they like horror, I'm not sure. Don't take them to see that.
Yeah, don't do that. So that being said, what do you say we jump over to the screening room and get started on our
started.
year in review? What do you think?
I'm with you. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. First up, Late Night with the Devil. What do you got on this one, Chris?
Late Night with the Devil. I tell you what, IFC Films. This was a straight to digital release for us. Got it over on Shudder.
Yep.
This was a gem. I kind of went into it, a little hyped. It sounded neat. The premise was cool. Like a found footage of type of
Kinda.
horror. Basically dusted the tapes off of some old talk show that gave Johnny Carson a run for its money, apparently. And apart from a little super technicolor at the end explosion, which kind of brought me out a little bit, but
Yeah.
Willing to forgive because they did a great job with this movie. This was fun.
I agree with you. I think this movie, it surprised me. I didn't know what to expect per se, and I'd heard a lot of really good things on it. And when I watched it, and I shared this, all right, so I mentioned on the channel that we had a late night horror movie outside bonfire. This was movie number 2, and boy, was it a great one. I'd already seen it. I was so glad to see it again. I'm with you. The Technicolor ending was a little much.
Crazy.
And honestly, I don't think it needed it. We talked about this. I have a really cool idea for how it should have ended.
Hmm.
I'd like to talk to the director about a reshoot.
Right. Just the ending. I mean, we're talking like a minute's worth of footage
Yeah,
where the explosive, what could be maybe a praying mantis demon thing, kind of comes
whatever.
at you at super intense, all the colors of the rainbow. Yeah.
That all being said, wow. Especially for a movie that's a Shudder movie, man, this thing was fantastic. Cannot, under any circumstances, um, take anything away from it. I think it's a great movie, and you really need to see it.
Yeah, definitely a must see. I'm with you.
Definitely. I'd love to do an in-depth on this one. Um, the next one we're talking about is a big no for me, but my co-host loved it.
Yes. This was a basically a creature feature. When given the choice between Abigail, which is also on our list tonight,
Yes.
and this movie, my youngest said, I'd really like to see this one. So we went and it was great on the big screen. We had a good use of practical effects, hiding the monster from with the cinematography. The CGI wasn't overboard, um, and it really brought you in. Basically, Spider comes here in a meteorite from another planet, um, is brought out and brought up as a pet in a jar by a local tenant of an apartment building, and this thing just starts eating and does not quit. Um, some good interaction, funny. I tell you what, Arachnophobia was great because you had John Goodman
Yep.
as the exterminator. Had a funny exterminator part on this one where he was just like, "Oh hell no."
Oh no.
Yeah, so fun movie, good creature movie. Of course, it's a little out there, left an opening for maybe a sequel somewhere down the line. I'm up for it. If you like spider movies, good one. If you don't like spider movies, this one is one you should probably stay away from.
I will
Creepy
say
crawlies.
this: when Eight-Legged Freaks come out, and my youngest son Cody giggled at his birthday and said, "Dad, I want to watch this movie," because he knew at 8 I hated
Isn't that
spiders,
great?
and he laughed at me through the whole thing. Ah, when all right, LG, if you're listening, cover your ears. When the jumping wolf spiders went after the guys on the motorcycles, I
Oh
was
yeah.
freaking out. So, to move along,
Mm-hmm.
Alien Romulus was
Alien
released this
Romulus.
year.
That it was.
I really enjoyed this to a point,
Yeah,
and then it jumped a shark, in my opinion.
a bit.
Now, there were a lot of people, including Chris, I believe, who really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
For me, I really enjoyed it all the way up till the last 15 minutes. I didn't think it needed it. I thought it was a waste, and it pulled me way out of this movie. What about you, Chris?
The xenomorphs are known to kind of pluck DNA from its hosts.
Yep.
Okay. That being known, it's out there. The ending leans into that too hard because we already know what happens when humans and xenomorphs get together. We didn't have to go to the route of monster. We did kind of was a little overboard. However, leading up to this, it was back to its roots, a
Yes.
dark, scary horror movie,
Yes.
more horror than sci-fi. It
Yep.
was in the dark, jump scares, practical effects, little remote control face huggers running around all over the place.
Oh, and
Um,
that was great.
fun
Oh, it was
stuff.
great.
Fun.
Not ruining anything because it was on the trailer, but man, those face huggers when there was multiples. All right, this is me.
Mm,
It's probably the spider thing, but
absolutely.
the face huggers have always freaked me out. And when you got a bunch of them running and jumping, I was like, hell to the no.
Yeah. They're
And
great.
I loved it. It was so good.
They're great. When they were first written, they were written with a purpose that, the long legs, their body shape, it's meant to get on your face of the host.
Right.
send its little egg tube down your throat. Its tail wraps around your neck. So if you try to remove it, it tightens up and it'll kill the host. So that being known with it having these things running all over the place looking for humans, we got the well, the name just popped out of my head. The ship from the first Alien, which Ripley bailed on. We got the alien from the first Alien that had been frozen in space rock, brought back. Uh, yeah, definitely fun ride. The actions was great.
Very
Again,
good.
the ending was a little over the top. I'm cool with it. I enjoyed it. I'm hoping we see more like that if we're going that way with
I'm
alien
so
movies.
glad that they killed off the end creature, because I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have to advance a xenomorph.
Oh, they're
They
scary as hell to
are
begin with.
the ultimate in horror
Because what do they do, Alan?
sci-fi.
They get you with the little mouth, Tim.
I'm gonna get, I want to eat you too.
Yeah.
All right. So the next on our list is one that I have not seen on purpose, but our friend Chris has.
Yes.
Trap. All
Trap.
right. As someone who is a M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong, not hater, but very cautious, why should I or should I not watch Trap?
This was interesting because we all know the Shamalama Ding Dong movies love to throw a twist in there you don't see coming. It's in all of his movies done usually pretty well. This one going in, the twist is already known. We know that he is a serial killer right from the trailers. And he is at this venue that they've set up to catch this serial killer. Um, the cat and mouse game that's played with the police via his ingenuity through this movie, um, very cool. I think the way it kind of connects with real world, kind of, the concerts. It's like a Rihanna kind of thing. Uh, the cat and mouse game was great, right to the end. The twists in the end, I will not give away because they're worth it. I think they're worth the ride. It was fun, and it ends off where you're like, "Oh no, like where could we go from here?" At what you think could be, it's a one and done.
Yeah.
Who knows? And this was starring his, I believe, his daughter, uh, Salika.
Yeah.
She was in this, so I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Was it worth going to the theaters? No. Glad I waited to stream it. Uh,
Nice. Okay.
not
That's a good
it's
warning.
not meant to, I mean, you don't need the big screen for it, because it's the story you're going for.
I do like Josh Hartnett. I do like him as an actor, so I
Yep.
was drawn to it, but
Seeing him play a literal sociopath slash psychopath
yeah,
was cool, because it's outside the box of him, and you get his smile. His characters have that smile and stuff, and
yes,
knowing there's evil behind it, I thought was fun through the movie. So
cool.
yeah, I thought it was worth to watch. The twists are definitely worth it in the end because they're not that crazy paranormal weird twist. It's a very realistic type twist that, oh, this was well planned out. So
Nice. All
very
right.
good.
Well, I'll have to give that one a
Enjoyable.
chance. I stayed away from it on purpose because he has a tendency to make me angry. Um, because
Fair.
I want to like his movies. And I
Right.
have liked a lot of them, but there's been a few that I've been like, "Oh, you son of a." Anyway,
Got me again.
the next one is actually a series, Salem's Lot.
Correct.
This is a remake from a 1970s classic that scared the bejesus out of me as a child. I will honestly say this one is not as good as the original,
No.
but there are some scenes in this one that make the original pale in comparison. Just the shot of all the children
Mm.
vampires in the tree
Oh,
around the tree house made this whole
creepy as heck.
series worth watching
Very
until
creepy.
the end. I'm not going to spoil it,
No.
but that and the scene where they show the vampires like on the building tops and stuff where
Oh
they're
yeah.
surrounding.
The silhouettes
Oh
and the
my
eyeball
gosh.
shine, and
Yeah.
I think they went when putting it up against the original and the story itself. I think they went more jump scare with this movie
I can
than
see that.
story.
Yeah.
However, I think they grasped enough of the story to keep the Salem's Lot thing. I do love the original because it's still scary today. Um,
Yes, it
the
is.
way they did the undead aspect of it in the series, I thought was great. So um, this one had enough jump scares. I didn't think it was overly jump scare. So it was good, uh, but it does not beat the original for me.
No, I will tell you, if you're a Stephen King fan or you're a fan of Salem's Lot, you should definitely watch this.
Mm,
It's not a hidden thing. Salem's Lot was my true gateway to horror. I had
mm,
watched a lot of horror before that with my aunt, as I've talked about, but this is the one that reached out and grabbed me and pulled me in. So I didn't expect it to be that good,
right.
but I was very, very pleasantly surprised up until the end.
Yeah, I went into it kind of thinking that it was not going to be that good,
Yep.
and that was definitely a pleasant. And I say watch all three iterations of this. You had a
Yep.
1979, the original, the best as far as I'm concerned. The
Absolutely.
2004 remake with Rob Lowe, not bad at all.
No, not at all.
Decent remake. No, again, not as good as the original, but decent remake. And this one, um, which came out on Max, right to streaming. It was good.
Yeah, it really was. Um, our next movie, I don't know if my co-host has seen this one. Have you seen Immaculate yet?
No, I really tried this past week to get that in there, and the work hours are too long, man. I couldn't
I
make it.
get
I,
it.
I I made it through Blood and Honey too. That
Yep,
was top of the list
yep.
for me. But Immaculate I couldn't make it through. But what I saw
There,
wasn't terrible. It was
no, it's
pretty creepy.
beautifully shot, and Sydney Sweeney is really, really good in this role.
Mhm.
Um, there's another movie on our list. Matter of fact, it's coming up next called The First Omen. We'll get into that one in more detail, but a lot of the scenes in this are reminiscent of that movie. So if you watch them both, you'll understand what I'm saying. But the last 15 to 20 minutes of Immaculate, oh my, it
Oh,
is gloriously hard to watch
wow.
in a great way. Sydney Sweeney kills it. Ubalto is in the chat right now, and he says that it's a fantastic movie. He loved it. And I agree. I didn't know what to expect. I loved it. I will definitely rewatch it. And
Okay.
I cannot wait for Chris to watch it so we can review it on this channel in detail. I
Awesome.
think you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Cool.
Slow burn hits all the eerie marks, and that last 15 minutes is just wow.
All right.
Oh,
Cool.
they went there. That's
Right
how
there.
I feel about it. So,
That's a good way to put a movie. It went there.
yeah. So to keep us in the same genre, let's talk The First Omen. What did you think about this one, my friend?
All right. Um, I was a late bloomer when it came to being a fan of The Omen. I was in my 20s. Before I didn't really like it. I thought I put it on a few times when I was younger. I was like, eh. I,
My heart.
yeah, I know. And then I think a friend of mine when I was, I don't know, I was in my 20s. I was in my later teens, because it was before Kelly, LG there, and put it on. I watched it all the way through, and I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
Because
okay, you're
I
you're
love the
forgiven.
I love the series once I finally saw it. This one I was very hesitant about because, like I said, I was a late bloomer into coming into
Yep.
liking the so reboots. It's the Hollywood thing now. We've seen plenty of instances of fresh ideas working out.
Yep.
So reboots make me cringe all the time because
Uh-huh.
so many that are done just terribly. This one wasn't terrible. I'll give it that. I'm not quite sure it was good though.
I'm going to tell you, I totally disagree with you.
You think it's terrible? I say I
No,
feel
I loved
no,
it.
you did.
I did.
Ooh,
And the reason being is I didn't see this as a remake.
mhm.
This is the prequel
It's the
I
prequel.
never knew I needed.
That's a good way to call it. All right.
It's a prequel I never thought I needed or wanted.
You went in
I
very
ha-
hesitant when this was coming out. You were like, I don't know.
Oh, I was. You heard me talk about it. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, why are they doing this?
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It could have been the prettiest filmed movie I've seen until I
There's
get to another
definitely
one on this
yeah,
list.
there was definitely some decent cinematography through it.
Very artistic.
I thought the writing was decent. I
Yep.
thought they took it it was original with still being within that universe.
Yes.
So, but it's weird though. I'm still kind of I'm not sure if I like
It's
it or
okay.
not.
I
So
will tell you to watch it again and let me know.
I'll
And the
give it a second.
reason I say that is this. There are scenes in this that pay homage to the original without ripping them off.
That's a
And I
good point.
had to give them due credit for that.
Mhm.
I also like the fact that unlike Immaculate, right, they didn't have anyone that really stuck out as a huge star
Mhm.
in the roles. So the fact for me that the first Omen deeply scarred me well more than The Exorcist did,
Mm.
I enjoyed this. That's just me. I would
Cool.
highly recommend it. Um, I think the ending was a little lackluster, but everything up to that point was brilliant. Um, I've never seen the next one.
Mm.
Chris, tell me, why should I watch All You Need Is Blood?
All right. So this wasn't on my radar. I apologize to Mr. LaBouffe for not having a full-on show where we could watch it. Our schedules didn't really match up, Alan and I, to really get this movie in
Yep.
to watch together. I'll tell you what though. He reached out to me on TikTok and said, "Hey, would you mind? I'm Bucky LaBouffe. I put this movie together. Would you like to review it? Here's the link." Gave me a link to Vimeo, and I watched it. This was fun. I will tell you, this is this kid's trying to make a movie, and his dad gets bitten by a zombie and turns into a zombie.
Hold on,
Through
time out.
Yeah.
I'm the one that told you to watch this. And I didn't realize this was the same movie.
because this is the one that he reached out to me on
Okay,
TikTok.
so maybe you reached out to me, but I think I literally watched it before you did and said, "Dude, you got to watch this," and didn't realize this was the one.
Ah. This is a funny movie. He's trying to make a film. It's like an alien thing comes down. His dad gets infected, becomes a zombie, but he's got actors that he's gonna. I'll use my dad, and ties his dad up and uses him as an actor in the movie. Um, the no one's the wiser to it except for the people that are in the back. It really has a slow burn on how direct it is on where we're going with this movie till it all just goes to hell in the end. Um, Zombies are getting high off of septic gas, which make them go crazy. There's just and it's the third act was so worth the building in the first and second.
It
First
was.
act, I'm like, I'm not sure. Second act, I'm like, I get it. Third act is off the rails, funny, so worth watching. I laughed so hard, and it was such a payoff for the determination for the beginning of this movie, middle of this movie to get to this ending. I give him all the credit in the world.
Yep.
Very well done. Very well
Very.
done.
Yep. It's one of those movies that I I literally said, "What the hell did I just watch?" And I loved it. I didn't realize this was the movie. That's what
Yeah.
cracks me up is because I didn't recognize it by the name.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and I literally was telling Chris, I was like, "You're gonna have to cover this one. I don't know anything." And then he started talking about it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's great."
It's crazy. Like it's what do they call? I mean, the name skips my head. They call it's a thing that I guess they do in prison where they take your urine, feces, and it ferments and spoils, and you can apparently huff it and get high.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I okay, I'll take your word for it. But when the sewer pipes start falling and the zombies start breathing this gas that gets them high, and then they're running around high and trying to eat people, you're like, what the is going on with this?
Literally,
It
what
is
just
so
happened?
ridiculous, so funny. But like I
Oh,
said,
so
the
funny.
third act, it is probably one of the better payoffs a third act has had in movies. It
Yeah,
really,
it's a
really
good
did.
one. It's a good one.
I give them all the
This is
credit.
a movie that
Good
I would
movie.
love to be able to gather the Talking Dead and watch
Oh
together.
yes.
I think we would have a
It's
blast.
hilarious. Yeah. And like I said, Bucky the Booth, I appreciate you sending me the Vimeo link. So I didn't have to pay to watch this movie. Um, but then when it came out, like I said, sorry we could not get it in there for a review. But if you got a chance to see it, it's worth the watch. Third act payoff is just
My plan is to eventually cover all these all these movies.
yes.
Our next on our list is a movie that has had mixed feelings. A Quiet Place,
Mixed
Day
feelings.
One. Um, a lot of people have said that they didn't feel like this movie was necessary.
Fair.
I agree with that.
That's fair.
I watched it, but on that same aspect, it is Lupita Nyong'o being Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah.
She chews up
Badass.
the scenery in every scene she's in. She took a very mediocre concept and a very mediocre script and acted the shit out of it.
Yep.
Oh, she was so good in this.
She really made this movie better than it should have been.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
casting director, perfect choice on this because I don't think there'd be many actresses that could really put it in and turn a movie.
Yep.
So yeah. Ending, I love the ending.
Oh, I
I
did
thought
too.
I love those kind of just monkey wrench in the whole mix
Yep.
kind of endings where you're like, oh no.
You're like, oh.
So yeah.
But
Anyway,
that being said, Chris, did you feel like this was even a necessary part of the Quiet Place world?
no. I enjoyed the first two. I like the idea of these monsters that come down. They have super hearing.
Hmm.
Humans have to change the way they deal. It's a hard sell on a movie because you've got pregnant people, you've got people in pain. Um, Really hard to muffle sounds of any of those things.
Yeah.
And to live a life that you're going to have childbirth, knowing you can't make a peep. Okay. Um, but I enjoyed them. I thought it was cool. Of course, the acting and those were good and brought
Yeah.
this along. This was this was a bad movie with a great actress, so we get a mediocre, not needed movie. I think mediocre to good, uh, only because of Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah, I agree with you. She took this movie, made it much better than it actually was. Um, and that's what she does. I mean, she makes everything she's in better.
Hmm.
Um, Again, she's my choice uh for the stand, right?
Yeah,
She just is.
yeah.
Um, our next movie is part of a trilogy. Scene. um,
Maxine.
Although I will say that I think that she should be in everyone's mouth as a wonderful actress, right? She's so good, like Lupita. But I told Chris, I said, when you watch Maxine, pay attention to the walk in the first scene. God damn, she's got a sexy walk.
I like it. I like it when they walk away.
Uh,
Yeah. Mia Goth is really coming into her own as an actress as
Absolutely.
of late. This addition to the trilogy, which is uh Pearl and X.
X.
Uh X was great. Pearl was superb.
Oh yeah.
Maxine, I think, ranks right around X. Maybe X was a little better.
Yeah.
But still a good movie. This is again Mia Goth playing this um determined uh quiet psychopath.
Yes.
She doesn't quite realize how psycho she is. So it's fun. It's Hollywood's a killer. She's just riding with it. This is
Yep.
the
She
character
is.
from X who survived Pearl, uh, or at least the older version of Pearl,
Yes.
on to bigger and better things. And yeah, it's a good movie. Definitely worth a watch. As soon as we got the Showtime package for some things, it was like, ooh,
Ooh, yeah, yeah,
quick,
absolutely.
throwing
I
it on.
agree with you. I think that X was good, Pearl was excellent, and
Yes.
Maxine was good,
Good.
right?
On a different given day, this might beat X.
Yeah, I agree. I really liked it. Oh,
We have a
Boone.
new member, Bone.
We have a
Thanks for
new member
joining
with us
us.
today. Thank you for pointing this out to us. Boone, welcome to the family.
Gabba gabba, we accept you, one of us. Gabba gabba, we accept you, one of us.
So we accept you as a member of the Talking Dead simply
Welcome.
by being here. That being said, you need to stick around because I'm going to put your name on the wheel because we're giving away prizes tonight,
Yeah, we
and
are.
you might get some merch of some kind. So
Little swag.
please hang around and thank you for being here. We appreciate you. You've only seen Pearl. Real quick in the comments, let us know your thoughts. What would you rate Pearl on a scale from 1 to 10? Because Chris and I both rate it pretty flippin' high.
Yeah, we liked it a lot.
A lot, a lot. We liked it a lot. Our next movie, Watchers.
Yes.
Have you seen
Yes.
this one, Chris?
I have seen this one. This I was intrigued when I saw the first teaser trailer. I watched the first regular trailer and decided this looks like a movie. Once again, Shamalama Ding Dong.
Yes, it
Um,
is.
with the hidden twist. This twist isn't out in the open. That I was like, the less I see of this, the better. I want to go
Yep.
into it on dark. Waited for it to come to streaming. This was good. This had a weird creep factor. You question yourself through it. Like,
Yes, you do.
like they're trapped in the woods in this glass box where the watchers come and watch them. And what are the watchers? Are they fairy folk? Are they some sort of creature? We don't know through this whole movie.
No,
Where
not till the end.
you're questioning like she is. Are these people talking trash because they want me stuck out here in the middle of the woods? In this no man's land, which of course this cursed land, the fairy folk were banished long ago in this land, and good twists in this, especially
Yep.
towards the end,
Yep.
to where we get our full escape. This was fun. I definitely give this one a good rating. I enjoyed it.
Why is it that the older Dakota Fanning gets, the more I like her as an actress?
Yeah.
Man, she was great in this. She sold it. Really, really sold it. Do you see what Boone said?
Yeah, good rating.
8.9 out of 10. You're right in there with us, buddy. Yeah, we rated it
movie.
just like that. It's a freaking great movie. So, watchers, the cast, whether it was Dakota Fanning or oh god, what was her name?
Olwen
Fiore. She was awesome in this. I went into this cautious,
hmm
and I just let it kind of wash over me, and I was like, yeah, really. As I said, I always go into M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong cautious, and I enjoyed the shit out of this. I really did.
Yeah. And this was Ishana Knight. This was another produced by M Night, and it was directed by Ishana Knight. Screenplay was by Ishana Knight. I'll tell you what, this was creepy, very creepy through it. Had you kind of on the edge of your seat. Basically, these people can go half a day like that way before they got
Yep.
to turn around and come back, because if not, they'll get you at night.
Yeah, because and I like the fact that it kind of had that vampire twist that if they exposed themselves to daylight, I thought that was really cool. And matter of fact,
Yeah.
that's where I kind of thought they were going.
Right.
And the fact that they didn't, applaud.
Very good. Very good.
Absolutely. So our next film, Cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
Chris, have you seen Cuckoo yet?
This is one I have not seen yet. We were talking about reviewing it and didn't get
You
around to
need to
watching
get
it.
on it.
We're getting on it this week for reasons.
Yes, so we're watching Cuckoo for next week's stream, and we'll be reviewing that one. I don't want to go into a lot of detail because we're going to break it down really hard next week, but this movie was really a different experience. I can't compare it to any other horror film and where it started and where it ended. It almost feels like a good M. Night Shyamalan type movie because it comes from so far out of left field. It blew me away. I watched this in a room with a group of horror fans, and they all were like, what just happened? And I was like, dude, if you weren't paying attention, you got lost. And he's like, I did. And so it's a good one. So we'll break this one down for you in detail next week.
Cool.
And we'll talk about it then. I'm going to tell you, I think it's worth a watch. If you're in the room now, watch it with us for next week. Chris, have you had the opportunity to watch Nosferatu?
Unfortunately, no. This was definitely going to be mine and my youngest. Our adventure. Life decided, well, it decided No.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, I believe next week it'll become available to screen at home for movie ticket prices, which we'll probably do because both of us were really excited to go see this. I'm a big Bill Skarsgård fan.
Yep.
I thought when talking to him about how evil he felt putting himself into this role and how it was the hardest he's ever had to do, knowing that he's done Pennywise and
Yeah.
he's done a lot of good work out there, um, had me hooked because you know this is a tale as old as movies, just about.
Yeah.
And a tale that was only told through the fans of horror because the original Nosferatu was supposed to have been scrapped, destroyed, and removed from,
Right.
as per Bram Stoker's wife. And it was fans that were able to take copies of this. And we were talking like, way pre Napster. So it was like,
Yep.
Victorian age Napster. Um, and pass this around and save this movie. And the silent film was great. It's for silent films. There's sexuality and there's that creepiness. There's the horror. Um, put to typo negative. Very cool.
Oh, that is so
Very
cool.
So excited to go see this. We're definitely going to be seeing this as soon as possible.
So, without spoiling anything, because I'm going to tell you, you're going to be very disappointed that you did not see this in the theater.
Yeah, I bet.
Earlier, when I was talking about The First Omen, I talked about how well it was filmed until I saw Nosferatu.
Mm.
I went to the theater. Unfortunately, I had to go by myself. Actually, fortunately, I went by myself.
Right.
And I sat there, and there were times I caught myself doing this.
Ooh.
It was so beautifully filmed. It was like a piece of artwork from beginning to end.
Nice.
The acting complemented it. And there was only one thing I would use as a detractor, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but for myself personally, and Chris, I'm kind of hard on it. This is a 9.95 film,
Ooh.
in my opinion.
Nice.
I truly went into it trying not to have high regards, even though I
Right.
love Skarsgård also. But oh my God, he was born for this role. I hope
Nice.
everyone enjoys it as much as I did. I'm gonna stop now because I could gush on this
All right,
film.
well, we'll be gushing together soon because this is definitely happening. It was one of my like almost contemplated like maybe we should go see it on Christmas because it comes
Yeah,
out on
I
Christmas.
would have.
Like, it was one of those like I'm kind of really excited about it, so we'll be watching that soon.
If I wouldn't have to live with how horrified my wife would be, I would have drug her to go see it again. I loved it that much. Anyway,
Nice.
my surprise of the year, Smile 2. Have you
Smile
seen
2.
Smile 2 yet?
This one I have not seen yet. I've just
Oh.
finished. I finished the first one. Enjoyed the first one. So I'm set up to put this one in, but just didn't get a chance to yet.
This is one of the rare times that, in my opinion, the sequel outshines the original.
Nice.
They took, okay, so the concept of the original continues through the second, but they juiced it so that it's a much bigger at stake. So in the first one you've got your average everyday Joe. In the second one you've got a rock star. So it shows how this particular entity
Mm-hmm.
doesn't play favorites.
Gotcha.
Now, the final scene of the first one works better than the final scene of the second one, but the rest of the movie is so much fun. I loved it. 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 All
Sweet.
right. So we're rounding out the end of our list, and I
End of our list.
purposely put this one last. Chris, what did you think about Abigail?
This movie rocked.
So good.
You think vampires are something to be feared, and then you throw a vampire that's a tiny ballerina, a centuries-old vampire in a 12-year-old body. Perfect blend of creep, gore, vampire type horror, and comedy. This movie was hilarious.
It was so good.
I am a huge fan of. I mean, we had some big actors in here. Giancarlo Esposito, love that guy. Everything he's in, I just love that guy. Doesn't play a big part in this one. Very funny. Kevin Durant. We had a great mix of a motley crew of people that were there to kidnap the daughter of a rich person.
Yeah.
And hold her for ransom. And then they find out that this rich person is some mythical person. This
Who's like mafia related or
super
something
mafia.
along those lines.
Yeah, like the
Yeah,
people that
super
cross
mafia.
him
Good way
end
to
up
put
getting
it.
ripped apart, literally ripped apart. And I'll tell you what, this was funny. Some of the lines in this are
Yeah.
just hilarious. I'm a big fan of Kevin Durant. He was in the book to TV show
I'm trying to in my
it's a
mind. I
vampire
don't know.
movie, The Strain.
Oh, great movie.
Yeah. I liked his character into that. He's become quite funny, and he plays some Russian muscle in this movie that
Yep.
he's tough as
So
nails
good.
one day and 1 minute, and then he's like, "Oh, that hurt."
Yeah.
You know?
And he's like the next. And
You
who
you
could
hurt my
say
feelings.
anything wrong about Melissa Barrera?
Oh no,
Oh.
no, this was great.
I agree. So let's all think back, if we would, to the time when we were kids and we saw the original uncut video of Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah.
The scene in there where they show him sitting in the theater with eating the popcorn with that shitty grin on his face. That was me during Abigail.
Totally.
I was totally like, this is the most fun I've had at a movie. That was, the script wasn't great, the story
No.
wasn't great, but the movie was so fun. I have now seen it 3 times
Yeah.
since its release.
Yeah,
I
it-
love this movie.
It is. The movie feels like they took all these actors together and they were like, listen, you guys are the bad guys. You kidnapped her.
Right.
Hired by you. And you find out that the girl is the daughter of the psychopath of the world, some sort of literal monster. Okay, go. Action.
Action.
No script.
And they just made it
and they
work.
played off of each other. You know, you've got Dan Stevens playing the cop, you know,
Yep.
that's leader of it all. You've got
Cop.
Melissa Barrera as the junkie, trying to turn her life around for her family. You've got Angus Cloud as the dumbass,
Yeah.
you know, but he can
the
drive.
driver.
You know, it's-
Catherine Newton,
yes.
okay, for me, was the wink. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. She was the weak link in the cast up until the time that Dean, the driver, lost his head. From
Oh,
that
yeah.
point on, I loved every scene with her
She
in it.
came into her own. She was very superficial in the beginning. She's
Yep.
the goofy ditzy hacker, la 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 la.
Yep.
And then it turns when she's like doing the the dance later on in the movie, because she's, maybe under control of a certain vampire. I was dying, where she's dancing around and goofing around with it.
I
Thought
did too.
it was
I did
great.
too. I did too. So,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, that's our year 2024 in review. A really great list of movies. And to be honest with you, this coming year so far looks like it could be equally as good.
Some good ones.
But how would you like to give some stuff away,
Let's
Chris?
give some swag away. I
Let's
think that's
do.
a good idea. We've had a great following. We finally hit our number of 250. We said we were going to do a giveaway at
Yep.
250, and we made it there. It's time to give away some swag.
Let's give away some swag. So, underneath the logo tonight is a wheel, a pretty full wheel. Bam! So everyone knows there have been some people like LG, who's a part of the show on the backside, who've said, take my name out of the wheel. We've done that. There's also been an agreement that for people like ETEP, who we're going to be on their show next
Mhm.
week, they are also not on the wheel. I think that's fair. But that being said, we have decided we're going to draw 3 names. The first name gets a small prize, the second name gets a little bit better prize, and then the third name gets to pick a swag. How does that sound to you, Chris?
Sounds good to me.
It sounds good to me too. So let's make it happen. On the mark, get set, spin that wheel.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Cat!
Only Vader's girl.
Only Vader's
Excellent.
girl, nice cat, has won a prize. We must
Yeah,
reach out
so
to her.
Chris, if you wouldn't mind, please be sure to write her name down so we can reach out to her.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And for our second place, let's spin that wheel. A podcast of pain.
What up, Darius?
What up, Darius?
All right. And then for our final winner for the night. I was supposed to be a drum roll, but whatever. Eric McClure. Eric, we're going to reach out to you. We want you to be sure to go to our merch store, which Chris will tell us how to get to momentarily, and pick out an item that you would like so we can send that to you. Eric, we appreciate you. We appreciate everybody being here tonight. Wow. Is there anything special you'd like to say to everyone, Chris?
No, I'm so happy we finally got to our number to be able to give away some stuff. I've got some pops back here. I know Alan's got some stuff. We're going to put some stuff together and get these out to our names. If you look in the chat right now, Lunar Girl is way ahead of me and has thrown the bio link, bio.link/graverev in the live chat. Click on that link, and that will take you to all of our socials: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Twix, Twitter, whatever you're calling it these days. It's X. It's about time we switch over and start saying it, but whatever.
I told you what I'm calling it from now on. It's Twitter plus X equals Twix. It will
Makes
be
sense.
Twix from now on.
It makes sense. So you can go there. You can catch our merch page, which Eric McClure, go on there, find something. Shirts. There's all kinds of stuff in there. Beautiful Thursday Night Frights. Is there Tuesday Terror still in there?
There's still, yeah,
There's
we
still
left
in
it in
there?
there because we're hoping to bring it back.
We're hoping to come back eventually when we we can to back to our Tuesday terrors. We got a lot of cool stuff in there. There's also an email. Reach out to us if there's a movie you'd like us to cover. We're always open to suggestions. You could do that on all of our socials as well. I had somebody reach out to us today asking us to review. Teddy told me to do it, or Teddy told me to on Tubi to check it out. So that's going to be on the list. We'll see if it's good enough to review. We'll throw it up there and put it on our shit list. Which
And let everyone know what we're doing next week as well.
next week we are taking on Cuckoo.
Cuckoo. And on Tuesday night, Chris and I will be guesting with Etep and Trina over at
There's the place to be, the horror reviews. We'll send out links through the week. You can catch us on there. Do we agree on what we're covering?
Wrestling with Horror.
Wrestling with
And we're
horror.
going to be covering Suck. And it's not X-rated, we promise.
Right.
It's a vampire rock and roll
vampire.
comedy
Come on.
that stars some great people like Alice Cooper,
Alice Cooper,
Um,
Iggy Pop.
Iggy Pop.
we've-
If you guys remember the Kids in the Hall, Canadian comedy group,
Mhm.
also on News Radio, he plays the scummy manager. Great show.
Right.
If you get a chance, watch Suck and join us on Tuesday night at Wrestling with Horror. We'll have all the links in our socials, and then watch Cuckoo. I'm telling you, you'll either love it or you'll be mad at me. I think you'll love it.
Definitely.
That
Well,
being
either way,
said,
we're going to review it next week. Will I agree with Alan, or will we have to bring up our ring and duke it out on where
it's
Cuckoo
been there
goes?
before. Oh, that's fun.
Definitely.
Anyway,
Stay spooky out there, friends.
absolutely. And as we always say as we're signing off, ladies and gentlemen, until we see each other again, hopefully Tuesday night and then Thursday, do me a favor and allow this. All of your nightmares can be groovy. Have a great night, everybody.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.